They say if you drive long enough, the road stops leading somewhere and starts leading you. He didn't see the sign, didn't feel the air change, didn't hear the silence creep in, but it was there, waiting. Ethan had been driving for hours. A long stretch of forgotten highway, cutting through the woods like a scar. His fingers clenched the wheel, knuckles pale, eyes dry from staring too long at the white lines that came and went like breath. He wasn't running from something. Not exactly. But he wasn't heading toward anything either. The job in the city had ended. The apartment lease expired. The girl, she left. He packed what was left of him into his beat-up sedan and pointed it into the night. The road was empty. No signs. No lights. Just trees. Dense. Black. Leaning in too close, like they were listening. It was around mile marker 237 when he saw her. A flash of white at the side of the road. Bare feet. Hair clinging to her face like wet thread. One thumb raised. He should have kept driving. He knows that now. She looked wrong. Not dangerous. Not threatening. Just wrong. Like she'd stepped out of a memory he didn't have. Still, he pulled over. The passenger door creaked open like it hadn't been touched in years. She got in without a word, without even looking at him. Water dripped from her dress. But the night was dry. Not a drop of rain in the air. He glanced at her. Couldn't help it. Her skin was pale, like porcelain left in the cold. Eyes too wide. Too still. He cleared his throat. Where you headed? Her voice was soft. Almost a whisper. Anywhere but here. The door clicked shut. They drove. Silence filled the space between them. Thick like fog. And then, "You've been here before," she said. He frowned. "No, I haven't." "Yes." Her voice didn't change. "You always come this way." He laughed nervously. "I think I'd remember." She turned her head, slowly, smiled, not with joy, but with knowledge. "I remember." He didn't ask what she meant. Didn't want to know. A sign flew past. Blank. No letters. No numbers. He blinked. Checked the time. 2:17 a.m. He'd been driving since 8. That didn't make sense. The girl hadn't moved. She stared ahead, hands folded in her lap, like she was waiting for something. Or someone. "Do you believe in curses?" she asked. He didn't answer. Not out loud. Because yes, he did. But only the kind you make for yourself. The road twisted tighter. Narrower. Trees leaned in further. Branches scraping the roof like claws. Then, a sound. Faint. A whisper. No, not a whisper. A hum. He glanced at her. Her lips moved slightly, humming a tune with no melody. A lullaby. Old. Familiar. The hum became louder. Deeper. Like it came from inside the car itself. Then, the lights flickered. Once. Twice. Darkness swallowed the road. He hit the brakes. Nothing. No resistance. Like the tires were no longer touching ground. And still, they moved. The girl's head turned. Eyes locked on him. "It's almost time," she said. "For what?" he asked. Voice trembling. Her smile widened. "To remember." He opened his mouth, but the scream caught in his throat. The hum exploded into a roar. The trees bent backward, wind howling through shattered windows that hadn't broken. The car shook. Then, silence. They were parked, middle of the road. Still, no sign of the girl. Just a faint scent of salt, like ocean air, but they were miles from the coast. He looked around. No buildings. No cars. No signs of life. Just him, alone. And then he saw it. On the windshield, a handprint. Small. Wet. He touched it. It was cold. Too cold. A memory surfaced. Buried. Blurry. A crash. A scream. A girl in white. Dead eyes staring up at him from a ditch. He stumbled out of the car. Heart pounding. Behind him, the road was gone. Only trees. Thick. Unmoving. Ahead. More black. No end. His phone had no signal. The battery. Drained. The hum returned. Soft now. Distant. He turned, and she was standing there, bare feet, dress dripping, eyes fixed on him. "You left me," she said. "I don't." "You drove away." She stepped forward. "I asked for help." He shook his head. "No. I stopped. I let you in. I—" She raised a hand. "Not this time." His breath hitched. "What do you mean?" "This is not the first time, Ethan." His name. She said his name. "I don't know you," he said, "but I know you." She reached out, touched his chest, right over his heart. "You forget every time. That's the curse." He stepped back. "No, I'm not. This isn't." She smiled, and the road behind her lit up. Only for a second. He saw them. Shapes, figures, dozens, all standing, watching, each one in white, each one dripping. The hum became a chorus. "Let me go," he whispered. "I don't want this." "You never do," she said, "but you always come back." She faded, like mist dissolving in sunlight. The forest closed around him. No car, no light, just cold, and the road, stretching forward like a tongue ready to taste. He ran, didn't know where, didn't care, but the humming followed, and so did the handprints. One on his shirt, one on his neck, one on his back. He screamed, and no one answered, because the road doesn't hear. It remembers, and it never lets go, not until you do. But Ethan, he can't. Not yet. Not again. The sound came back first. Not birds, not animals, but something else. Breathing. Low. Heavy. Like the trees had lungs, and they were watching him. Ethan stumbled forward. His legs felt wrong. Too light. Like he wasn't touching the ground. Like he was floating through a memory, not walking through a forest. But the dirt was real. The roots that tripped him were real. The pain in his knee when he hit the ground. Real. He pressed his palm against the wet earth. It pulsed. Once. Then stopped. He stood, breathing sharp. Every exhale like smoke in the cold air. But it wasn't cold. Not anymore. It was warm. Too warm. Like the air had been held too long inside a dying mouth. Then, footsteps. Not behind him. Not in front. All around. Soft. Uneven. Like someone dragging their feet through the leaves. He spun. Nothing. Just trees. But they weren't just trees anymore. They had faces. Carved into the bark. Eyes hollowed out. Mouths twisted. He walked faster. No direction. Just away. From the road. From the humming. From the girl. But he couldn't. Because the forest didn't let you leave. It shifted. Changed. Turned you around when you weren't looking. And the path. It wasn't a path. It was a pattern. A loop. A trap. He saw it when he passed the same tree for the third time. The same face. The same missing eye. The same dry blood under bark. He paused. Heartbeat loud. Like it was in his ears now. Or maybe it wasn't his. He turned. And there she was again. Closer this time. Eyes black. Dress dry. "You're almost ready," she said. "For what?" He could barely speak. His throat burned. "To remember? I don't want to remember." She tilted her head, but didn't blink, didn't move. That's why it always hurts. Ethan backed away. The trees behind him opened like ribs, revealing a clearing. He ran into it and stopped. There was a house. Not new, not ruined, just wrong. Too small to be lived in. Too perfect to be abandoned. White walls. No windows. One door. He didn't want to go in, but he did. His hand reached out without asking. Fingers curled around the knob. Cold. Metal. Sticky. He turned it. The door opened. Inside, silence. And a single chair. In the chair, a figure, wrapped in cloth. Face covered. Breathing shallow. He stepped closer. Each footfall muffled. As if the house didn't want him to hear his own steps. He reached out, pulled the cloth back, and froze. It was him. Same eyes. Same scar above the lip. Same shirt he was wearing now. but dead. Still, pale. He stumbled back, but the chair was empty. Gone, like it had never been there. Behind him, the door slammed shut. He spun. She stood there again. Closer, eyes full of shadows. "You left me," she said, voice flat. No anger, just fact. "I don't remember you," he whispered. "You don't want to?" "Then tell me, what did I do?" She stepped closer. The air thickened. Time slowed. "You saw me on the road," she said. "Rain pouring. Night broken. You stopped, but not to help." His hands began to shake. "No. You asked questions. You offered a ride. But you didn't listen when I said no." "I didn't." "You touched my arm, locked the doors, smiled, and drove." His breath caught, the memory rising. Hot, clear, sickening. The headlights, her scream, the trees spinning, the impact, then silence. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "But you did." Her voice cracked now, a tremor beneath her calm. "And I stayed there, in the ditch, broken, alone." She reached out, touched his chest again, over his heart. "You forgot, so I remember for both of us." Tears slid down his cheeks. He couldn't stop them, couldn't look away. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "Not yet," she replied. "Not until you know how many others you've left behind." She stepped back, and the house fell away, like paper in flame. Ash swallowing light. He was in the forest again, but not alone. Figures surrounded him, all pale, all watching. The girl stood among them. Their faces changed. Not strangers, not ghosts, reflections. All him, each with different wounds. Each from a night he couldn't remember. Each from a time he thought he left behind. The road, it hadn't forgotten. And neither had they. "You can't keep running," she said. "Every time you forget, we wait here, to remind you." Ethan dropped to his knees. The ground didn't hold him this time. He sank, deeper, into the earth, into memory, into everything he didn't want to be true. The forest hummed. The wind carried his name. And, in the distance, a car engine started, as if another version of him was getting ready to drive the same road again. The sound of the engine was distant, but it was his. He knew it, that crooked rattle when the ignition caught, the screech of old brakes, the low hum of tires rolling over forgotten asphalt. Somewhere, another him was driving, eyes tired, mind blank, heading toward the same curve, the same girl, the same end. Ethan tried to scream, but the forest swallowed his voice. He clawed at the dirt, but it wasn't dirt anymore. It was soft, like flesh, like something breathing just beneath the surface. He pulled himself up, gasping. The trees circled in closer, tighter than before. No stars above, only branches twisted and gnarled, like fingers trying to cover the sky. He turned. The figures were still there, all of them, still, watching, judging, but the girl was gone. In her place stood someone else, a child, small, eyes wide, hands trembling. He knew that face, his little brother, Daniel. But that couldn't be. Daniel died when they were kids, drowned in the lake, a freak accident. Ethan stepped closer. Daniel, the boy didn't speak, didn't blink, just pointed. Behind him, the lake, impossible, still, cold, a perfect circle of black glass. He hadn't seen water in miles. He stepped to the edge, and there he was, floating, face up, eyes open, skin blue, himself, again, dead. The wind whispered, "One for every truth you've buried." He turned, dizzy. "Why are you showing me this?" Because he wasn't just the hitchhiker. He was the road, the forest, the lake. He was every lie he'd ever told himself to stay sane. Another figure stepped forward. A woman this time, eyes sunken, hair torn, nails cracked and dirty. He didn't recognize her, but his chest tightened. Some part of him did. She opened her mouth, and a swarm of flies poured out. He screamed, stumbled back, tripped into the water. Cold hit him like stone. His breath vanished. His limbs stopped moving. The lake dragged him under. But not fast. Not to drown him. To show him. Images flickered in the water, like film burning through reel. A girl crying on the side of the road. A boy in the back seat bleeding. A woman screaming as she was pushed from the car. All Ethan. All him. Again and again. Not always evil. Not always cruel. But always careless. Always running. Always forgetting. The surface shattered. He burst through it, coughing. Gasping. Alone again. The forest was gone. The lake, too. He was on the road. The same road. But it was morning now. Pale sunlight. Empty horizon. Fog curling like fingers around the guardrails. His car waited, perfectly parked. Door open. The seat warm. He got in. The mirror showed a face he didn't recognize. Eyes older. Skin cracked with guilt. A man carved from forgetting. The glove box creaked open. Inside, a photograph. Faded. Crumpled. Of the girl. The hitchhiker. And scrawled on the back, "You promised you'd take me home." He looked around. No signs. No exits. Just the road. Long. Straight. Hungry. He started the engine. The hum returned. Familiar. Wrong. A mile passed. Then another. In the rear view, a flicker. A white dress. Bare feet. His hands tightened on the wheel. A voice whispered from the back seat. "You forgot again." He didn't turn around. He couldn't. His eyes burned. His heart thudded. Each beat an echo of something lost. "I want to remember," he whispered. But the voice only laughed. Soft, like wind through leaves. "You always say that." The road stretched on. Straight. Endless. And the girl, she smiled, not with forgiveness, but with patience, because the road always brings him back. Again, and again, and again. The laughter didn't stop. Not hers. Not his. It spilled through the car like a fog, slipping into the vents, seeping into the fabric of the seats, curling into his ears. But it wasn't joyful. It wasn't even cruel. It was hollow, like something broken had learned to pretend it still had a shape. He drove, hands shaking on the wheel, eyes locked on the road. Don't look in the mirror. Don't speak. Just drive. But the road didn't move. The trees didn't blur past. Time didn't change. He was stuck. The odometer kept climbing, but nothing else did, like he was crawling through a memory that refused to die. The rear view trembled. He saw her lips move. "You're going the wrong way again." "I don't know where I'm going." His voice was thin, like it had been scraped out of his throat with glass. "Back," she whispered. "Always back." He looked at the radio. It was on, but no station. Just static, until a voice crackled through. "Turn around." He slammed the button. Silence. Then, outside the window, the trees began to move. Not the car. The trees. They slid backwards. Branches twitching. Trunks shifting like they were trying to outrun something, too. He hit the brakes. Nothing. The pedal dropped through the floor. The wheel locked. The engine groaned like something alive had been trapped beneath it. The girl leaned forward. Her breath touched his ear. "Do you want to see it?" He didn't answer. Didn't breathe. But the world did. It inhaled, long and slow, and the road opened. The asphalt cracked. Split, like jaws. Beneath it, wood, stone, photographs. Thousands. All the same face. His, but different every time. One crying. One laughing. One covered in blood. One hanging by the neck from a branch. One with eyes gouged out. He screamed. The sound died before it left the car. She was next to him now. Not behind. Not outside. Next to him. Smiling. Still. Sad. "You asked what you did," she said. "You already know. But you've asked that question in every life. And you never finished the answer." He tried to open the door. It melted in his hand. Flesh now. Breathing. The entire car. Pulsing. A heart wrapped in steel and regret. She placed her hand on his chest. And this time, he didn't flinch, because now he remembered the scream. Not hers, his own, when he'd seen the light, bend the wrong way, when her head struck the window, when he'd unbuckled her seatbelt, dragged her out, left her on the side of the road like trash. She was alive, barely, but he hadn't called for help. He had just driven away and told himself it never happened, that she was never real, that it was just a dream. That wouldn't stop echoing. She leaned in, eyes dark as the road. You lied to yourself so many times. You made us real. He shook. We. The glove compartment creaked open. Inside, a small book, leather, locked. He picked it up, hands numb. It opened on its own. Inside, names. So many names. Too many. Scrawled in his own handwriting. Some crossed out, some smeared with blood, some still fresh. At the bottom, a blank line, and a pen, waiting. She touched it, then his hand. You have to write it now, before the next you forgets again. His throat closed. Tears blurred the words. I want this. But you made it. Please. Finish it. He picked up the pen, but his hand wouldn't move. She looked down at him, and for the first time, her eyes were kind. But it was too late. The road swallowed the car whole. No crash, no scream, just silence, and the sound of tires. Starting again. Somewhere, another Ethan drove past a sign he wouldn't remember. A girl waited on the side of the road, drenched, smiling, and behind them both, the forest leaned in, ready to watch again. He woke up in the driver's seat. Again, the sky was gray, the road endless, the girl gone. No blood, no sound, just fog, thick, suffocating. His knuckles were white on the steering wheel. His foot hovered over the gas. But he didn't press it. Not yet. There was something in the mirror, a shimmer, like glass cracking. He looked closer, and the reflection didn't match. He wasn't blinking, wasn't breathing. The reflection smiled, a thin, slow grin, and mouthed the words, "We never left." He slammed the mirror upward, but the road didn't care. It waited. Ethan stepped out of the car. The air was still. No wind, no birds, no insects, no life, just the sound of his boots against the pavement. He walked, past his own car, past the trees that now looked carved, as if someone had whittled them into the shape of trees, but forgot to make them real. The fog curled around him, tugging at his clothes, like it didn't want him to go far, like it had grown used to him. He saw a sign, wooden, crooked, words etched into it with fingernails, or something sharper. "You are here." Below it, another line, freshly scratched. "But you never were." The ground beneath him cracked, and something rose. A shadow, tall and thin, wearing his face, but with eyes full of static. It opened its arms. "Go ahead," it said. "Tell yourself it wasn't your fault. Tell yourself she was already dying. Tell yourself you were scared." Ethan backed away. "I made a mistake." "No." The shadow's voice cracked the air like broken glass. "You made a choice." More figures emerged from the fog, every one of them familiar. All the girls, all the hitchhikers, from every loop, every version. Some had twisted necks. Some walked with broken legs. Some smiled with too many teeth. They circled him, and the road opened again. Not like a mouth this time, but like an eye, watching, waiting. "You don't get to forget," they whispered together. "You rode us. You killed us. You dreamed us into pain." He dropped to his knees. "I'm sorry." The forest whispered, soft, almost gentle. Not enough. The sky split. Above him, a second road, mirroring his, upside down, glowing, and on it, a child, Daniel, his little brother, alive, running, screaming, "Ethan!" He stood up. That voice, too real, too pure to be a trick. He ran toward it, feet pounding the broken pavement. Daniel! The figures didn't stop him. They watched, their heads turning slowly, like they'd seen this before, because they had. He reached the edge, where the two roads met, a rip in the world, like paper torn in half. And there he was, Daniel, reaching out from the upside-down sky. "Help me, Ethan. I don't want to drown again." His throat closed. It was real. It had to be. He reached, grabbed his brother's wrist, felt skin, warm, alive. Then the hand twisted, gripped tighter than a child ever could. And Daniel's face melted away, replaced by hers. The hitchhiker, rotting, smiling, bleeding. "You left me first." She yanked. He fell into the sky. That was now the lake. That was now the road. That was now nothing. Silence. Darkness. Then a spark. A match struck. Someone's breath. Someone crying. And headlights. A car. A road. And a girl standing in the rain. Her thumb out. Hope in her eyes. Ethan blinked. He was behind the wheel. Again. No memories. No scars. Just déjà vu. And the smell of wet asphalt. He didn't stop. Didn't even slow down. He passed her. And for a moment, just a moment, she turned her head and smiled, because the road always remembers, even when he doesn't, because she's always waiting, even when he forgets, because this is not a story. It's a sentence, and he's serving it, 1 mile at a time, forever.